are you? How is everyone?
I see Dave. Dave, guess what? I harvested my first batch of celery you gave me. It grew.
I was wondering what you were talking about.
Yeah, I
Because I
thought for
just
sure it was
saw
dead.
I
Yeah,
just
I thought
saw Dave come in. Hi, Dave.
I did. I thought for sure it was dead, and I out of the four, one has made it for sure, and I have a second one as long as this weather holds. I think I'll be able to get at least one more, but that's the most I've ever had successfully make it. So I'm counting it a win.
It is a win.
Yeah.
Here too. It's been, I can't remember which day. I think it was Wednesday. It was 13 or 14 degrees Celsius outside. And then it was rainy and then sunny for 2 days. And yesterday it poured. It poured like crazy here.
It was this morning when we got up. I think it was 8 degrees Celsius this morning at 6 o'clock. Like it was cold.
Oh God, that means
morning.
I have to start thinking about closing my tunnel.
Yeah, and like it was chilly. I'm like, woo! And all day it stayed cloudy, but we didn't get any rain, which we could have used a little rain, but it didn't rain, but it was cold. Like I had a sweater on and I had like denim capri jeans, and I wish I'd had like full jeans on. That's how cold it was. So I'm like, okay, I'm not quite I'm ready. I love fall. Like I love summer because of gardening. Sorry, but I truly fall is I love fall. I just love it. So
Hi, Remy. Well, I like I told Patrick this morning, I'm not quite ready for fall yet. Just not yet.
oh, I am
Because
because
I'm not done harvesting a lot of stuff outside.
oh no, I'm not done that either.
And if I am mentally ready for fall, that means like there's a switch inside of my head that goes like off. Can't do that just yet. So the temperature is not really going with well, what's going on the homestead right now.
Yeah. I mean, I have I planted a fall garden and it's doing great. It's doing better than my spring planting went actually. But my snow peas and all that. But luckily it's things that can withstand a little bit of cooler temperatures. They actually do better. So I'm not worried. And yeah, I got my first lawn keeper tomato this weekend. Yes, I was so excited.
I've been harvesting mine for I think 2 weeks. So as soon as the temperature starts to get like I have like one more warm day, I'm just gonna top the plant and I'm gonna bring them inside and put them in boxes. And I'm gonna let them and cross my fingers that I can have like 10 maybe inside. We'll see.
I have a box right beside me on the floor. One box is full of bell peppers that I think 3 are ready. I got to harvest them. I've already got about 22 bags so far frozen. I am so happy.
Nice.
And the other box is full of tomatoes.
Tomatoes, I feel you, but this year I had such a hard time with my peppers. Thank God the ones that are planted at Mama's Homemade's homestead. I think I'm gonna have like maybe 2-3 gallon bags there, and I think I'm gonna have maybe 5 gallon bags here. So we'll see. It could be worse. I'm not gonna complain.
I'm like very happy because I didn't think they weren't going to do well because they stayed for the most part. They only got all about this tall, but the peppers on them were quite large. Well, here, let me see.
For my part, mine took
they were all about.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so you don't have to have really big pepper plants to get big bell peppers.
Which one is that?
That's just I honestly don't know the variety because I haven't bought bell pepper seeds in 4 or 5 years now because I just keep saving them from every year's harvest. So I have no idea what the variety is at all. Like,
and you don't remember originally what it was?
Nope, I don't.
And you only have that variety of pepper?
Yeah, I have, and then I have this variety again. I don't know the name of it because some lady gave it to me. It's still a red pepper, but they're not hot. They're sweet, but they're like long.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what she called these.
These can be either lipstick, di Toro, Corno di Toro, or oh god, I have another one that's conic.
Lipstick sounds maybe right.
Lipsticks is like they're not very long. They're maybe like 5-6 inches long.
Yep, that's about all that. Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay.
And it's funny because all my red ones. So when I put my starts out, the chipmunks took off first with all my markers, telling me what ones were what. Because I had red, orange, and yellow and purple. So first they took all the markers. So I'm like, great. Now I'll have to wait till you all start producing before I know what ones. And then they started eating some of the plants, and it looks like they ate all the orange, all the yellow, and all the purple. Because all that I'm getting right now are reds.
Little shit. Sorry. I think this is the first time I see. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name correctly.
Hoosier
Prepping Nurse. I'm so sorry if I'm not saying it right. Welcome to the channel. It was 9 here this morning. I had 2 hoodies on the farm. Yeah, I feel it. I was
single digits. Not ready for single digits.
I was wearing the hoodie I won from Tracy, and I could probably wear like a second this morning, but after baking and cooking all day, like the kitchen got warmer, so then I felt a little bit more comfortable. But it is getting cold. I know it's coming. Winter's coming. I know, but not mentally ready for it.
Like, I don't mind from now to December because I love the weather. I love fall. Like, I love the colors. I love it. And then you have all the holidays. I don't like January and February.
I feel
that I'm not a fan
of. January and February are the short. They're the longest, coldest, wettest, bone hurting months. And then you see all these people down south starting seeds, and you're like, it's still cold here.
I'm not a fan. And you don't have anything like to look forward to like you do now through December, right? It's just. Yeah, so I'm not even going to think about January.
No, we're going to deal with September for now. So today, Remy from Rem's Family Farm did something huge. He pressure canned for the first time. Yay! So
I hear he's booked already.
Yeah, he's already planning his next sessions.
Way to go, Ram.
Is here today, and we were talking about how our pepper plants were small but producing. Yeah. Hello, Tracy.
I've seen a few channels talking about how they're now. I do have some really, really tall ones out there. I was shocked when I went out and looked because I hadn't been able to get out for a couple of days because we did have rain like all last week, and then life got a little busy. I was shocked at how tall some of them were, but there's nothing on the tall ones. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is.
They're all on the short ones.
My sweet banana peppers, the plant are huge and producing a lot. Those are designed to be northern climate. They do very well here. And they're not in my tunnel. They're outside, in a row, and they're producing a lot. Inside my tunnel, some of them that are producing a lot is, it's called Ariane. It's an orange pepper. It's huge, and it's a heirloom. The other one that's producing very well with big, blocky, like huge peppers is Sensation. It's a hybrid that's available on Verze Seeds. And I hope I can get some of them to change to yellow because like it would be fun. This year I have barely no peppers that are changing colors because like I didn't close my tunnel yet. So next year, I think I'm going to plant a lot of those 2 varieties, the Ariane, the orange bell pepper, and the Sensation, because they're huge. They're blocky, exactly like yours, but yours are like a bit more elongated.
Yep.
But mine are like fatter. So those are interesting and fun.
You can bring your bell peppers in and put them in a box, and they'll change color. I had to do it last year, and because we were getting a frost warning, and my peppers were like not. And I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm bringing you all in.
Yeah,
and 5 days later, they were all colored.
Yeah, I did that last year. Most of them survived. Some of them were kind of like soft, so I use those fresh. Like I cook them, and the ones that were firm enough, I put them in recipes.
Yep.
But like I try not to have too much food inside the house. Cause like I kind of like have some like everywhere. Kitchen table, kitchen shelves, kitchen counters, kitchen island, on the floor, in boxes. Like I have some everywhere. And the kids don't know which one goes where, so they don't ask. They see like colorful peppers and like, ooh, and they eat it. And then when I'm about to do my recipe, I kind of, where'd my pepper go? It's gone.
Oh.
Like I'm not.
My kids don't eat peppers.
Well, I don't mind because I would prefer them eating the pepper rather than junk or like snacks that's for school. But I'm like, really? Okay, so I have to hide peppers now. Ooh, from Indiana.
I had a feeling because Indiana is the Hoosier state.
We are up north in Canada, near the igloos. No, I am in the province of Quebec, and Lynn is in Ontario. We're almost neighbors.
But but I'm originally from Maine, in the States. So.
Okay, let me catch up a little bit. Yes, I wanted to wear the shirt tonight, but I dropped some stuff on it and it was kind of dirty, so next live I'll put it on. North Ottawa, that's not for me. Good job, Remy. So what's next? What are you pressure counting next?
I think, did he do ground beef today?
I know he did meat, but I'm not sure if it's moose or beef. I don't know which one.
I haven't even done like ground meat yet, but it's coming. I just trying to keep up with the garden first.
I did was taco meat. It was so easy to do. Not complicated.
Yeah.
We are doing 12 days. We are doing 12 days the end of January in New Orleans. Ooh, in the Caribbean. Lucky. I'm looking forward for my birthday. I wonder why. I cut wood in the coldest of winter. Nice job. Rambling. That's not for me. That's not for me. My girlfriend has been complaining about. Well, okay, that's something that Remy told me earlier, that he started at 12 and he finished at 4, and he only had 13 500 ml jars. And no one actually talks about this side of canning. It's a long time to prep, and there's a lot of dishes involved.
Yeah, a lot. I've been running my dishwasher a lot.
Yeah, there's nothing like taste of fruit straight out of the garden. I agree.
Oh. Yep.
Hello, Ecocentric Homestead. Hello, Joanne. Yes, I remembered. Tell her. Yeah, we're canning, obviously. Canning has like the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like every situation has the good, the bad, and ugly. Oh, it was the moose. And he also did carrots and beads. Dog team sounds like fun, but a lot of work. Not sure what he's talking about.
I think he's like dog sled. Like hook him up to the sled kind of thing.
So he still has 20 pounds of carrots to do.
I'm getting my beans done tomorrow, and I don't have carrots. My spring carrots did so I'm just kind of letting them go. And then when I harvest my fall carrots, I'll harvest the spring carrots too. And I've never done this before, but if you leave them in until the first frost, your carrots are actually sweeter tasting. So I might not even worry about carrots until after. Supposedly our first frost is October 4th. That's what the almanac's saying. So we'll see. But I probably won't do carrots until, unless I go get some at the farmer's market or something, then I might do some carrots this week. But
yeah, I'm planning on going on the farmer's market this week. I would like to buy a huge bag of onion, like the biggest I can find. I want to do caramelized onion pressure canned.
Yep.
I want to
I want
do
to try that too.
same thing, but as a jam. So caramelized onion jam.
Damn. Okay. Yep.
And that's with balsamic vinegar. And that's not pressure canner, that's water bath. And then the last one is a French onion soup that I'm going to use for French onion soup and also base for like those stews that I do. But my onions, I'm not complaining about my onions from the garden. They're lovely, but they're not big enough.
Oh,
so when I process and I need 1 cup, like instead of like going with 2 onions, I have to go with like 10. Well, not 10, maybe like 5.
4 or 5. None of my yellow onions, white onions, whatever you want to call them, none of them, they all died as starts. Oh. I honestly thought all my onions died. And then I'm looking at the starts and I'm like, well, some of you look okay. Oh, I'll try them. Well, they produced. I got 5 purple. I call them purple onions. They're called red onions. They look purple to me, so I call them purple.
My daughter says the same thing to me. Mom, why are they called red onions? They're purple. No, they're red onions.
They're purple. So I'll eat them fresh. Like I like, purple onions we use for like when I make a pico de gallo, or if we just chop some up to put on top of tacos or whatever. Yeah. I don't necessarily cook those.
I'm happy. This is the first year I had 25 pounds of onions.
Awesome.
I'm not like, they're not big. They're like golf ball size, a little bit bigger. So some of them are a bit bigger golf, but like average or a bit bigger than golf size. But I had those little miners that bored inside the onions. So I have to like examine them, and like the ones that have been attacked, I have to process them and freeze them. Or like use them in recipes like salsas and stuff like that. And the one that are untouched, I'm going to try, cross my fingers, that they last through the colder months, like till January, without germinating and like causing problems. So I'm hoping that this would be the first year that I can carry over some in the fall, and like I'll have some in the fridge.
I did an experiment in January because I was doing the pantry challenge that Three Rivers Homestead does.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I'm going to need some purple onions. So I bought some like the day before the challenge, like New Year's Eve. And I kept them in a wire basket at the top of my basement. And our basement's not a real basement. It's I think it's like yours, Annie. It's just a crawl space.
Yeah,
and I have shelves along the wall there that hold usually a lot of empty mason jars. And I kept the wire basket that I just got from the dollar store. It actually looks like the wire basket hanging behind me here. So I had a whole like a whole thing of them. I took them out of the bag and everything and put them in loose. I was able to use almost every. I had one that went back. By the time I got to it, it was too far gone. But I didn't have to buy any purple onions all of January, all of February, all of March into April.
Nice.
I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, it worked. So just keeping them in the dark, and it's a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
Behind the, right there in that section. And it worked. And the one that was yucky was starting to germinate too. Like it had germinated and it was bad. I'm like, okay.
And I was pretty happy. I doubt that the rodents are attracted to onions anyways.
Yeah, I don't think they were. And I had it hanging like unless if they jump, that was the only way they were going to get in it.
They could. If you put an apple there, I'm sure they're going to jump.
Yeah, apple maybe, but I don't think they'll risk it for an onion.
No. I've been to Canada. It's beautiful country. I used to live close to Alpena, Michigan.
Oh, Alpena, Michigan. That is close to us.
A lot of American thinks we have igloos. Yeah, well, that's why I keep saying, Canada near the igloos, because, they all... Anyways, it's an inside Canadian joke.
Yep. Or, you're from Canada? Do you know Bob? Yeah, I know Bob.
Yeah, I know Bob. One of my neighbor's son lived remote Alaska. He did have a dog team. Well, Alaska in the winter, you need like alternate transportation. So dogs, what do you call them? Snow machines?
Huskies. Yeah,
No,
snow
snow
machines.
machines
Yeah,
or like
yeah,
a very nice pickup truck with good tires because there's a lot of
yeah.
snow there. That's not for me. I wanted to leave them on the
I'm
ground.
just sorry, and I just went a little ahead here and rambling with the Brahms there. He said a small bottle of ketchup was $11.99 today. That's insane. I I can't.
I
Wow.
I can't
I
even I can't even say no comment. Where is he from again? He's in near Ottawa?
Yeah, yep.
I
I
was
just
at
want to say too that farmers are warning people, California farmers, 90% of your tomatoes come from California. 90%. Ketchup, spaghetti sauce, anything that has to do with tomatoes, their tomatoes are dying in their fields because they can't water them because they're in a severe drought. It was 110 Fahrenheit there this weekend. Like, and they're saying, so I'm glad I grew a lot of tomatoes, and what I'm doing is I'm making tomato sauce, and I'm not adding anything to it, so I can use it for a whole bunch of stuff. If I want it for spaghetti sauce, then I'll add my spices. If I want it for pizza sauce, so that's what I'm doing this year. I'm just going to make tomato sauce,
I
and
only
I
add
just
the lemon and the salt in my tomato
yep,
sauce.
yep, that's all I'm doing.
And then
And they
it's
I
versatile.
stocked up on a case of tomato paste. I got another case at Costco yesterday because it was still a decent price, and it's organic and there's no salt added, which I like because I have high blood pressure, so I don't add salt until I add it myself.
I guess you just
So
motivated me to go buy tomatoes.
yep,
Because
yep,
like I think I'm going to be lacking for the recipes that I want to do. So I guess this week
yep,
that's where I'll be.
yep. They're saying
Um,
that, and there's supposedly a potato shortage too that could be happening
I
because
could
of
live
flooding.
without potatoes. I could. I'm not
Like,
saying I would enjoy living
enjoy
without,
it.
but if everything goes well, I might have 50 to 100 pounds of potatoes in the ground. Are already
Oh, yeah.
harvested 15ish, maybe 20 pounds. And I try like to hold on like as much as I
Yep.
can. And then I still have one, two, three, one, two. I have 6 rows to go harvest of 15 feet. So I could be
Oh,
surprised. So
I
I could,
have probably about 10 pounds curing right now. That is not enough for us. My son lives on potato, French fries. Like, he can't survive without potatoes. So,
I guess you're gonna buy some potatoes on special and can them.
I've got some canned. I'm actually going to. I had one of my subscribers tell me that she was been watching a canning show, and they're canning French fries, like already cut, and they said you drain them, pat them dry, and apparently they are the best French fries ever in the air fryer. They crisp
Okay.
up nice. So I might try just a couple, let them sit in the water, which makes sense because when I make my homemade French fries, you let them soak in water for as long as you can, drain them and rinse them because all the starches come out, right? So that
Do
makes a
you
crispier
blanch them?
French fry. So it makes sense that if you cut them into the French fry shape and let them sit in the water, when you pressure can them, it makes sense that they probably would be good. So I'm going to
But do
try
you
that. And if
blanch
it
them?
works, then
So do you just
yes, I think.
cut them and then blanch
Uh,
them and then put them
yep,
in the mason jar, or you just cut them and put them in the mason jar with water and salt?
I'm going to cut them and put them in the mason jar because you're already pressure canning them, which is going to cook them anyway. So
Okay.
if I'm worried if I blanch them and then pressure can them, they're going to turn to mush.
Yeah,
So
that's my main worry about pressure canning potatoes. I want to try it. Like everyone tells me, don't pressure can green beans. They're disgusting. They're mushy. Yep, 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 yep. I pressure can green beans and they taste great in cold salad. So now,
oh, well, Jill is saying we should blanch them. But yeah, and Hoosier saying her homestead does the French fries. So that might be who my subscriber was telling me about. But she said they're raving about it. So I'm like,
and
I'm gonna try that.
might as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna catch up
Yeah.
on comments because I think
Yep.
I'm like 10, 15 minutes late.
Good. I'm just gonna grab my tea real
No
quick.
worries. I wanted to leave them in and ground, have a little mouse. I remember you told me that. So, which dehydrator did you get, Dave? Because I know you are on a solar system. I thought my carrots were going great. I picked a few, and they were 6 to 8 inches long. Then I picked two this week, and they're carrots are they're kind of tricky. They look all beautiful from outside the ground, and then when you come to pull them out, you can actually have a surprise. I made pizza sauce today, and I have ketchup going in the roaster. Tomorrow, spaghetti sauce. And nice. Today, I pressure can soup. Well, a base soup. It's actually a trial. This week, I had a quart of broth, chicken broth, potatoes, carrots, potatoes and carrots from the garden, and a broccoli head. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Am I going to do like a cream type of soup? And instead, what I did is I just cooked all of that together. And then I added some salt, pepper, garlic, onions, and another spice. I can't remember. And then I just went in the pantry and I took some cube pork and I just put all of that together, and it was like delicious and divine. So I used that exact recipe, and I use the your choice USDA soup mix that you're allowed to pressure can, and I used it all and I recreated this soup. But I cannot add broccoli into the pressure canner, so I'm going to use the broccoli that I have blanched, and I'm just going to add the broccoli when I cook the soup.
Yep.
And then I also can cube pork, no flavored. I'm just going to take that. So I'm going to be taking like 2-3 jars of something, and 5 minutes later, I'm going to have dinner. So I have five
Cool.
jars of that soup. I don't know if it's going to be exactly what I created, like, because I didn't write down the recipe. I just eyeballed it this week. I always do that. I eyeball, and then
I have to laugh when you said broccoli, because when I made turkey soup, it was one of the first meals I pressure canned, and I added cauliflower to it because I had some and I wanted to use it up. Oh my gosh, do not do that because it makes your soup very cauliflower forward. All we can eat, all we can taste when we eat this soup is the cauliflower.
oh
So I won't be
no.
doing that again.
Oh, I had a heart attack okay, I read that. Have you ever walked I have those, the Egyptian onions. A friend of mine gave me those. They are uh not annuals, they're perennial onions. So it's a little mini bulb of onion that you plant in the ground. And then the year after, there's like this green onion looking thing coming out of the ground. And at the end of that, there's like 5, 6 onions. So one bulbs like reproduce itself to recreate this lovely little onion flower. And they're called Egyptian running onions. And they're fun to
Oh.
have because they come back every single year.
Oh, wow.
I lost mine this year because I kind of neglected one part of my garden, and I had a gift of 15 onions, like little bulbs, and I planted them all, and I kind of lost them in the bush. So maybe next year those little onions like might have dropped on the ground, and I hope they're going to come back, but like I was only able to save 10 seeds, so I have to restart my little onion patch. Thank you for sharing
Oh, yes, thank you.
the link of Lynn. I do want to point out something. Lynn is super, super, super close to a humongous milestone. You did hit
Mhm.
900 subscribers just as the live
900 today.
started. And she's only missing 100 subscribers to be qualified for the
Mm.
monetization of YouTube. So if you want to go show her some love, you can click on her link. Being so close to be qualified is like, must be an amazing
Oh,
feeling.
I'm shocked because the beginning of August, I had just under 700, and I had set a goal for myself at the end of June to try to get 700, and I didn't get it.
I
So
remember
I
that.
thought, uh-oh. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, bam, I'm like, wait a minute. I would get up the next morning. I'm like, well, I'm over 700. Oh, okay. And then I got to 750. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It just, yeah, I reached 900 this evening. No one is more shocked than me. So I'm pretty grateful, very grateful. Actually, I'm grateful and thankful and a little bit gobsmacked. So,
well, enjoy it. I am also close to a milestone, and before the live, I was at 692. In I just now I'm at 694. So very soon I'm gonna be at 700. Maybe by the end of the month. I hope by the end of the month. I hope
oh, I think
so.
by the end of the week you'll
I hope
probably
so.
get those.
I'm an optimistic. So if I say by the end of the month and it happens faster, I go woohoo. And if I go
Yep.
by the end of the week and I feel the pressure, I don't want to feel that pressure. So I'm an optimistic that way. I
It's
did
just
not.
funny. I found getting to 500 was close, like fast. Like all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my gosh! I remember when I got my first 100, and then before I knew, and because you want that 500 so you can start posting, right, in the
Yeah,
community post. And then it seemed like that was so fast, and then it just seemed to be like, but I think it was also the time of year, right? Like, I mean, people are busy. It's summertime, they're vacationing or they're doing their own garden thing or
yeah.
whatever. So even, I mean, I don't have as much time to watch in the summer, everybody. So I've been catching up the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I have like so many channels to catch up on. I only follow like my like I have me time. Like every week there's two videos, two channel that comes out, and it's the only channels that I like religiously watch every week because it's like it's not educational, it's not about something specific. It's just like for me to have like a dreamy me moment, and I just watch those two videos a week and that's it. But when the winter comes, I have like so many channels to pick up. I'm so
Yeah.
behind on like my good friend's channel, like Remy. I'm like so behind on his channel. I tried like the small ones, the short ones. I try like to squeeze them in here and there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm in the garden, I have my headphones on and I listen, and like I can't really comment, but I'm like I have to catch up. Like
I know I actually watch a lot on my TV because if I have a few minutes to sit down, I'll put it up on the TV, and I can do the thumbs up on the TV, but then
yeah,
I have to go back in on my phone or my laptop and write a comment,
a
right?
comment.
And because
Yeah.
because I'm trying to, this is the time of year I sell some crochet things too.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get a few more hats done, apple hats. So if I have 20 minutes, I get down, I work on a hat, and I watch somebody's episode.
Yeah,
So,
crocheting's gonna be my next step. I'm not sure if I'm gonna sell any this year. I know I finished some projects last year. I might put them up, but I don't know.
it's the only time I really do. It's like, and I'll sell some things usually at Christmas time too. And usually
Yeah.
it's a lot of people who have bought things from me the last couple of years. They'll message me and say, "Hey, Lynn, are you selling, the snowman hats again or the elf hats or anything like that?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you need? Like what size?" And then, so I kind of do that, but I stopped doing craft fairs.
Oh,
it was
I wouldn't
depressing.
have time. I wouldn't have time. If I make
No, and I
like
don't have time anymore.
I have a hat that I made, a Christmas hat that has like this long what do you call it? It's like it's a not a Santa's hat. It's a elf hat. So it has like this
Yep.
long tail. And every time I go to school, like all the teachers, like, "Oh my God, where'd you buy your hat?" And I say, "I made it." And I
I
say, "Can you
made it.
make me
Yep.
one?" Like at this point, I
Yep.
had like 10, 20 people ask me, and it takes me about 5 hours to make the hat. So
Yep.
if I would sit down and actually take orders, I could get a lot
Yeah.
done. But like
Yep.
that's a commitment that I'm not sure that I'm ready to take on because Christmas is like September, October in 3 months.
Yep. I actually, I mean, I work a lot in the evenings, even in the summer. That's when I get, I wind down and I just can't sit and watch TV. I can't, like, I'm not good bored. I'm not good bored. And so even if I'm relaxing, I'm usually crocheting. So, or doing something. And I've been trying to get caught up because last year, every day of October last year, I was making pumpkin hats. And this year, I was smart and I made about 50 of them all through the summer. So I'm hoping I've got a good little stash made that I don't have to worry about. Of course, this will be the year nobody wants them.
Of course, of course, of course. You're ready and no
But
one wants them.
Yeah, I just want to say, yeah, I shared that on my Facebook. They were asking all the electric car owners not to plug their cars in.
Yeah. I'm going to go. This is where I'm going to go. No comment.
Mm-hmm.
Hi,
That's why I didn't
Jill.
make a comment either. That's for the French fries. Yeah.
Yeah, her homestead. Let me write it down.
I know. I'm going to look her up actually.
Her homestead. I do hope that I'll remember where I put this for French fry. Thanks for sharing.
But yeah, I used to make, I would, whenever I made stuff, either the kids would wear it or I'd wear it to the school, and all the teachers, they do the same thing to me. And they all had kids too. So they're like, could you make us, like, I had one teacher, could you make us all 4 Santa hats, but I need 2 in like pink and then 2 in like an off color or sparkle. Could you do that? I'm like, yep. So I made a whole family, and they had their Christmas pictures, and she sent me a Christmas card with them wearing them.
Oh,
so
cute.
That was,
so
yeah,
cute.
that really was, yeah. So
is,
I love making the baby stuff. Oh,
yes,
because it's
they're
so
fast.
much fun.
But it's
fast.
Yeah.
I actually have a cousin and his wife are expecting their first baby, so I'm working on a blanket for them right now.
Crocheting blankets for babies is quite fast also. Like you can do one evening, you can do like the outline, and then the evening after that, like the little details, and then the evening after that, like the weaving in. So within like 1 week, you can have 2-3 blankets made. For this comment, I since we're talking about Pantry, mason jar, like since beginning of this whole ... COVID, everyone wants to pressure can, everyone wants to can, everyone wants to preserve, blah blah blah.
This year especially.
Yeah, but this year there's no, everywhere I go there's jars. So they...
Oh, no, that's funny, because everywhere I've gone this weekend, I've looked, I don't need any. I just like to look. There's none. There was none. Canadian Tire had none today. Home Hardware didn't have any today.
It was a week ago, last time I checked. A week ago, there was still some left.
I'm trying to think. Where else did I go? We went somewhere else too this weekend. Where is it? None of the stores, like none of them have them. And then the price is ridiculous. Like $19 for the 250 milliliters. I can remember when I was paying like $6-7 for those.
$9. The 500 mLs were $9. The 1 liter was $11.
Yeah, 11 or 12. Now they're like 26.
Yeah. And like, on the flip side, everyone keeps asking me, how do I get jars? I need jars. I used to buy my jars used. Like a huge... My favorite way to shop for jars is someone selling more than 10 cases. Like someone that's either grandma, someone died, estate sale, or someone like decided, I no longer want to can, I'm done. Sometimes you actually have food inside the jars. Those are the type...
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I actually had a woman sell me. She forgot that some of them still had food in it. It was not edible, but I take the price that's currently on the market. Let's just say that it's $10 for a certain amount of jars. I divide it. I divide the price by 12, and I divide the most expensive price of the lids, and I divide that by 12, and I add up the lid, the ring, and the mason jar. If someone is selling me $1 used jars, it's not worth it, because then you have to buy the ring and you have to buy the lid, or just the lid if you still have the ring. So for me to actually find a deal, like something that I'm going to actually drive my car and use of my time to go pick up 10 or 20 cases of mason jars, it has to be under 75 cents per jar. It has to be. Because if it's more than that, you might as well go to the store and pay the full price, because you still have to buy the lids regardless. So
I'm just sorry, you got a weird, I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Do you arm wrestle? No. Not sure what
that means. I'm going to say my favorite. I hate to. I don't like saying where I get mine because now it's gotten very popular. But I'll say I love going thrift store shopping, and I was getting them there, and I didn't care if they didn't come with the ring or lid because I've got tons of rings and lids, and sometimes the lids are used anyway, so I'm not going to reuse the lids. The thrift stores have gotten wise, and now they're selling them anywhere from $1.50 all the way up to $3 a piece now.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
500 milliliters. And I was getting them for 50 cents and $1, and now I can't get them.
Yeah, because they got wind of the money that is being done. But this is where comes back also to the story of me going an hour and 15 minutes downtown Montreal to go buy a pressure canner of a lady that's advertising it 2019.
Yeah.
And it ended up being like early 2000, and she was asking the same ... price of a brand new one used, like a equivalent of a 2019 used. And I looked at the lady, I'm like, you can't sell that $200. It's not worth $200. Yeah, but now everything is like going up in price. And then I ended up wasting like 2 hours of my life. But I got educated on that subject quite fast.
Yeah. No, I've been going on marketplace and stuff and searching, and people are like they're selling them for what you can buy them new.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, that's not, I'm not going to buy used jars for new. I'll buy new for new.
Yeah. And there's another thing when you buy used jars, if like the ones that I bought had a lot of vintage. So 1960, 1970, and like they still have the same rings and the same lids. That's not the problem. It's just like you have the mileage on the jars. So the first couple of years I had a lot that cracked.
I've had some too from the thrift stores because
So that's why I keep saying you have to like be cheap when you buy used. Like you have to negotiate, and the more there is, the better chance of you getting like a lot at a good price. That's how I started at first. Now, since people are being greedy, I make myself a budget every single year. I'm going to buy 5 cases of 500 mLs and 5 cases of 1 liter. And there was a special in Canadian Tire this year, I think in April or May, like early on the season. And I went and I got 5 cases. And then further on, I bought another 5 cases. So that every year, I know that I'm going to can more and more every year. So I make sure to add it to my my budget every year.
Yeah.
And also
I'm finding I'm pretty much out of what I call jelly jar size, the 250 milliliters. I might have just a couple of like loose ones here and there, but that size is pretty much filled this year. So I think next year, that's the size I need to concentrate on trying to find more of. I still have a lot of the really big jars.
The 1 liter?
I'm not sure why I bought so many of the really big jars, but I figure worst comes to worst, I've been putting a lot of my dehydrating in them.
That's good.
So at least I'm using them. But if I have to go to the freezer and start using my food saver and freeze a few more things instead of canning them, then that's what I'll do this year. And I'll know next year. This is the first year I've really been concerned that I was going to run out of jars.
Well, and I've been
always over 20 years.
I'm always like, oh my God, am I going to have enough jars?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm starting to look around and I'm like, okay, there's a lot less empty on the shelves than there were.
I think I have like 7 cases of 1 liter left in 8 cases of 500 mLs.
Okay. Yeah.
About
even that size I'm getting.
And this year, since everything is going up in price, I bought 2 cases of 1 liter, 2 cases of 500, and then I bought 5 or 6 of 250 milliliters, like those jelly jars, because I need 50 for my pizza sauce.
Right. Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot. So, and I do every 2 years, I do jellies and jams. So this year is the year that I do jams and jellies. And then when those things are emptying, the year after is the year I do my my hot pickled pepper relish. That was a lot of peas. So 1 year it's the jelly jars and jams, and then the year after that it's the relish, because like I kind of lack space and lack jars anyway.
Yeah, I might be actually using some under the bed storage this year, which I haven't had to do for a long time, but it's a good problem to have. I don't want to sound
Well,
like I'm
if you're
grateful
hungry,
when I see, yeah.
if you're hungry in the middle of the night, you have a snack.
True. That's true. I was just reading Hoosier Prepping Nurse. Sorry, that's a mouthful. Our thrift stores are getting just as expensive as new too. I mean, on everything, not just mason jars. Like literally, I'm sorry, I don't care if the jeans are a brand name. I am not paying $60 for them at a thrift store. That's
No.
just insane. And I
No.
don't care if they're 90 or 100 new, because one, I'm not paying 100 new either. But I'm
No.
just saying, like, it drives me crazy. Like, I'm not, they had prom dresses at one of our thrift stores this year. Donated. Now, this is what gets me. They're donated. Like, you're not buying them. They're donated to you.
Yeah.
And they were selling them for $400 and $500. And I'm sorry, a young woman who is going to a thrift store to buy a prom dress,
she doesn't have the money.
Under $100. She's not going to look for $400 and $500 prom dress. That's just insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
September. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's a bunch of channels are doing it. Mennonite Farmhouse is one of them. Huh. September is actually how I found quite a few channels last year that I now watch religiously, because I found them through that. Croctober will be coming up soon too.
I found the 1870 homestead.
Yep.
With September. That's how I found her. She has a lot of fun recipes.
Yep.
Thank you. Those single bulbs are selling for oh God. That's expensive for those little walking onions.
Yeah, that is.
Yes, I'm close. Oh, and if you have a moment, don't forget to do a thumbs up.
Yes.
To this live.
Those thumbs up are important.
I hope they do come back. My onion starts are from my mom that she brought from Kentucky when she was 14. Oh no, I do hope that everything.
But what every time you see them or you harvest them, what a wonderful, like, you're thinking of your mom. So that is amazing. I love that.
And her mom is present in the garden all the time. Is this a wink wink, Tracy?
I'm not growing squash ever again. I don't think I have, unless I pick a whole different other part of my property, because all my squashes, almost all of them have this batch, the fall planting, they've self-pollinated with the pumpkins.
Oh no.
So I don't think I'm going to get any. We don't like it enough anyway. We're not huge squash people. So I'm not, I don't think I'm going to worry about it.
I'm actually thinking, I'm brainstorming of converting my tunnel in half of it for my cauliflower, broccoli, and the other half for summer squash. Removing the top of my tunnel, so that there's no heat, and put insect repellent row covers. So having this walk-in tunnel with a similar mosquito net that's white, so my cabbages will be protected from the cabbage loopers, and my squash will be protected from the squash bugs, the vine borers, and the cucumber beetles, and everything else that love squash.
Weren't those beetles, squash beetles? Of course, I've never really grown a lot of squash before, but I've always grown pumpkins. Never had these squash bugs before until this year. They were ferocious this year.
I kind of didn't even fight the battle this year. I was exhausted. And ironically, I had 0 cucumbers, but I have squash. Not summer squash. Winter squash. I have 2 pumpkins. I never had pumpkins. I have 2 goudas. Goudas is the smaller version of the. Oh, it's so cute. That's a dumpling.
I got 2 out of my garden before. These ones didn't cross-pollinate. So those are the only 2 I think I'm going to get this year.
So I have 2 goudas, which is a small, long island version. And I have 3 naked seeds pumpkins. I can't remember the name. I have 1 curry squash. in one curry, 3 yeah, and I think I have one more in the garden. Like I never, never, ever, ever, ever get like I plant and plant and plant so many, but this year, neglecting all my plants with the vine borers and all of that, I still managed to get a lot. So I might do things like in a tunnel next year and just like manually pollinate and have like 2, 3 zucchini plants and maybe like 4 or 5 vining squash in the tunnel, and that's it. So it's going
Yeah,
to save a lot of
we got
space.
some big plans for the vegetable garden next year that we're working on through the winter. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to come to fruition. But this year was just about getting things growing.
Yeah.
It really was, because I was so concerned about what was going to be happening later in this part of the year, which we're seeing. So I kind of just wanted, like, I'm just going to grow as much as I can. Don't really care what it looks like. Well, now we're at the end of the year and I'm starting to care about what it looks like. It looks a little bit, I don't want to say redneck because I don't want to use that word.
Well, that's how I started. I upcycled everything, and that's how I looked.
Yeah,
at my house.
and even my husband's like, you know why? He says, I can make something better for you next year. I'm like, don't you make promises you can't keep.
Yeah,
He's got all these big plans for me, so so now you're gonna have to follow through.
Yeah, you have to follow through. I just realized one of the hats that I did crochet is on my table right there. I'm just gonna go pick it up because I think someone wants to see it. Just give me a sec.
Yep. Actually, while she's gone. Yes, that's what I made. Yeah, I made them too.
Sorry, I can't hear you. What did you say?
No, sorry. Yeah, I made those too. Those are the ones. These are what I'm working on right now.
Oh, they're so lovely.
So I came up with them last year because I always did pumpkins, and I'm like, apples would be really cute for September. So
yes,
yeah, and they're so easy to make. I love them. They're so cute. My favorite part actually is the stem. I don't know why. But I just think it's so cute.
I'm gonna keep it kosher because at first I thought it was a.
No, it's a stem to an apple. So
okay, I've been naughty. Okay. Yes, an elf hat. I'm not sure if I'm gonna sell them. I know I would have a lot of people asking if I would sell them, but I don't want to promise anything. And then
what's hard for me is the price of
I don't know how much it's worth.
The price of the yarn has gone up quite a bit, and I don't always charge for my time. I know people are like, Lynn, why do you? Because one, where we live, nobody is going to pay me $30, $35 for these hats. They're just not gonna here. I'm not in an area where they're gonna pay that. So I just times the yarn by 2.5. That's what I figure it out. So if the yarn costs me $5 and I times that by 2.5, and that's the price I come up with. Sometimes I come down a little bit less. It depends on the size. But the yarn's gone up, and I feel bad that I might have to raise the price of the hats by like $2 this year.
Yeah, well, everything's going up. Even seed companies, the prices are going up. Their shipping prices, everything is going up. So there's you can't give them something, you have to actually cover your cost.
Who's your prepping nurse? I just wanted to say, I did something similar. I used a Castile liquid soap. I used neem oil, organic neem oil, and that's what I sprayed on the squash bugs, and it worked great. And it's organic. It's 100% organic. It's what even the organic farms use, and it worked really, really well. I would do it in the evening so I didn't hurt any pollinators, because I didn't want to hurt the pollinators. Mm-hmm. And it worked. It worked really well. So definitely be doing that again. And it was just exhausting, right? Because you'd have to do it once a week. I'd be out there for almost an hour and a half.
That's nice that you got a freeze dryer.
Yeah.
That's my wish list for 10 years from now, unless I can get one sent to my house, which I doubt.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
That is a
7 dozen.
good deal.
Yeah, that's a good deal. That's my type of deal. Okay, I'm going to try to catch up. I bought local K Tire last 3 cases of 500 mLs yesterday. They probably won't have. Nope, they probably won't. I think I made it this week. Not sure what you mean, Fox. Okay.
I think they mean they made it to your live this week.
Yeah, I think that's what he means, but I just want to be sure.
Yeah.
Our thrift stores are now that's what you were talking about. Under the bed, good idea. I don't know if I'm going to think about that. Well, okay, so put snacks like carrots or like peaches and syrup, apples and syrup, blueberries and syrup.
And keep your boxes, your mason jars come in, because that's what I put them in, like the full ones, and then they slide right under my bed, the kids' beds, anybody's bed.
You'll get squash, just the seeds will be hybrids. That might not be a bad thing.
That's what I was wondering, because I've had a couple people tell me, oh, but you can't eat the hybrids because sometimes they're poisonous. And my husband's like, all they are is a pumpkin and a squash. What the heck about them is poisonous?
I don't know. I know, let's just say that you cross-pollinate a flower of a zucchini with a male.
This is my hybrid. So that was this and a crookneck squash.
Funky. So, it looks like a bottle.
And it looks like when I did Google's lens, they think it's a canary melon, but it's not a canary melon.
No, it's
and
not.
I'm either going to give it to, I'm going to use it for decoration for fall.
Yeah.
It's still and then I'm going to give it to the chickens.
I love the 1870 homestead. It's her Heim tomato ketchup recipe.
Yep.
Ooh, nice. Now I have to go check.
I don't know if I'm right, but I think her recipe, I'm not 100%, but I think her recipe is actually Living Traditions.
I think so. I could have. I'm gonna cross verify. Yeah. I actually have that on my list of things I would love to do this year.
I used to make my own ketchup all the time. I've gotten really out of it. My husband's kind of the only one who eats it. So,
well, the first year I did ketchup, it was an epic disaster. I opened one jar and everyone looked at me like, what the hell is this? This is not ketchup. So I'm like, okay, fine. And like we eat a lot of ketchup with 3 kids. So I need like a recipe that I know that everyone's going to love.
Apparently that Heinz one is supposed to be like literally just like the Heinz, if that's what you, my kids don't even eat ketchup.
Not sure what you mean by you
the hats.
Oh, the hats. Oh, okay. Okay, that means I'm so behind on comments.
Oh, that's what I wanted to bring. I just wanted to mention, like, I mean, maybe for some of us local, I'll say local because we kind of all met, about doing Secret Santa this year. Like just the little group of us and keeping it under like literally like really like, because sometimes you get the funnest things when you like keep a budget like under $10 or something. I thought that might be fun to do. So I was going to bring it up now. I'm on our little chat. So I just thought it might be fun to do. I mean, something, and I'm like serious if we could even set the budget for like $5, like, because we have to count for shipping.
Shipping is expensive. I just shipped out my 600 subscriber giveaway. Mm-hmm. And I sent a sticker and there's like goodies inside that I sent extra. It was $1.94, just the stamp.
Yeah.
And not counting the envelope. I had to buy a bubble envelope because I didn't want what was inside to be broken. So let's just say another like 20-30 cents the envelope. So it is getting expensive to ship things.
It is.
And yes, it is soon here in Northern Canada.
I plant my garlic Thanksgiving weekend. That's generally when I do it.
Which Thanksgiving? Because I know you have like American.
Oh, October. Canadian Thanksgiving. Canadian.
Okay. To kill them, make a mix of baking soda, Castile soda. Okay, that's what you were talking about. Okay, so I'm really behind. I'm so sorry. You have to, okay, that's sense.
I know you had some questions you said too. I think this week you were hoping to get to.
Yeah. It's written right here, but I'm not sure I'll have time. Okay. Hi, Patrick. Yes, correct. I made it to the live this week. Missed last week. I use neem oil before too. I use more of the power mildew. Okay. The hybrid will not. Okay. The hybrids will not be poisoned, but if it's tasty, you'll have to. That's a weird way
maybe I get a great new one that tastes good. Maybe it will taste good because it's got pumpkin and it was pie pumpkins, like the pie pumpkin. So maybe I'll try it.
I would do that. The gift exchange.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay.
I put aside my French channel. I'm too busy canning. No worries. No worries. For the canning boxes, I saw where someone was leaving the plastic on the box, but cutting the plastic above the box level makes it sturdier.
Yes, I've been leaving the plastic on mine too. Actually, that's a great tip. It does make them sturdier. It was traditions.
Okay.
Lines, yeah.
I did not know that 1870 does, but maybe she changed some of the ingredients because like there's some spices that you can like switch. I would have to compare. Okay, so now that I'm caught up, let's see if I can plug in a question. When you started like your pantry organization, what did you start with?
Oh my goodness. Like canning stuff or
anything.
Bought stuff?
Doesn't matter. Well, like, what did you feel was important to start with?
For me, each of the kids got a basket of school stuff. So, because they both like different things. So I had a basket in my pantry. One was Grace's, one was Aiden's, and every Sunday I would fill them all back in for all the stuff for school, and they'd go in and they know they could get 2 or 3 things out of that. I started with that. Yeah. And then it works. I still do it. And now all of us have our own baskets with our own snacks that we like.
That's fun.
Yeah. So I actually just spent a small fortune on baskets today at the dollar store to try to get more of my my pantry right now is embarrassing.
Well, a chaotic pantry means a full pantry.
Yes, it's a good thing to have, but I'm hoping to be filming the before and after this week. So hopefully if I have time, but I started with the kids baskets and then I just kind of started saying, okay, I like this organization thing. So then I started doing the cereals and then I started doing I try to keep like even my canned goods. I try to keep like the desserty things all together and then the things for like dinners and side dishes and stuff I try to keep over there, so more for the rest of the family to know where the applesauce is. So when I go to get green beans I'm not like, okay, I know I have green beans here, I just have to go through everything else everyone put back. So
it has to be like user friendly because sometimes there's other people than you to go in the pantry.
Exactly. Yeah. So we actually call I keep pointing in there because I'm in my kitchen tonight and we never know what we call this room. It's an extra living room. I'm not sure what the people who lived here before used it as. It's got some craft stuff in it. It's got my husband's laptop. It's going to have our treadmill kind of thing in there, but along all one wall and everything is shelves. And that's where we have what we call our store. And so we have a pantry off our kitchen where we have everyday things. And then as we run out, we go to the store and get one off our stockpile and put it into the pantry. So we actually call it our store, and I shop from that.
So you go shopping in your own house.
Yeah.
And you don't have to dress up.
Nope.
You don't have to dress to impress.
Nope. I can shop in my pajamas.
That's fun. Like I used to write, I'm trying to write my labels in French, but since like everything I'm doing is in English, so my channel is in English, my recipes are in English, all the tutorials I follow, they're in English. So as soon as I come down, I sit down and I write my tags on my mason jars, my English brain like kicks in. So I write, well, obviously salsa it's easy, and sauce is sauce, so it's
Right.
easy. But like rhubarb, like he can figure it out. But like there's things that he's like, honey, what's this?
I was gonna ask, yeah, like, do they, yeah, the rest of the house, are they as
uh,
English as you, or
my kids are. School
okay,
now has English very early. My daughter can understand it very well. She's just very shy to speak it.
okay,
My
yeah,
middle son understands it a little, but barely speaks. But like he watches a lot of YouTube, and it's in English all the time. So he's gonna
right,
pick up. He's gonna pick
yeah,
up quite fast when he's gonna like seriously have English courses, with exams and all that.
yeah,
And
that's
he's
cool.
probably gonna be like bilingual like me by the age of 10.
Good.
I wouldn't be surprised. My husband, when I met him, he did not speak one word in
Oh,
English
wow.
at all. At all. He was like, yeah, thank you, the bad words, and like bathroom, and so. And with work, um, he um he had no choice. He had to learn English because he was supporting people over the phone. He was repairing, troubleshooting,
Oh,
reading panel drawings and like electrical drawings, and they were all in English. So he
oh,
kind of
geez.
had to figure out the language, but then he had to integrate like every single day words. So I can speak to him about technicalities and like drawings and like welding and all of that. But then if I have a conversation with him with every single like normal words, I have to be slow talking so
Okay.
that he can pick up everything I'm saying. But he does understand. Sometimes he says he doesn't because I speak maybe a little too fast, but I'm sure he understands. I'm sure. Like we've been together for almost 13 years, so I'm sure that
Yeah, yeah.
he understands. Did I miss anything? Bye, Tracy. Patrick barbecue with tomato shrimp. Chicken and peppers. That sounds delicious. Not sure. Want to have a cook out on Friday? Sorry, no.
No.
I can cook. Hello, Melissa.
Melissa.
Okay, so I'm able to slip a second question.
Okay.
Um, what do you feel that you can like so much of, or preserve, or regardless the way that you preserve, that you always run out of?
Oh, blueberry jam. It's like our favorite. I absolutely love it. And I made more this year than I have because it seems to be as much other jam we have, we always seem to go towards that one for some reason. It's just weird because we do, it's my favorite. It's delicious. And then beans. I never seen like green and yellow beans. This is my first year canning them, and I'm worried because they're starting to produce, so I hope I'll have enough. But definitely blueberry jam, and we go through applesauce really quick because we use it as a dessert too, especially in the winter, like warm applesauce. Oh, it's so good. So good. Well, and it'll be interesting. I've canned a lot of broth this year because this is my first year pressure canning. So we go through a lot and it looks like a lot, but I'm thinking, wow, I use like at least, I cook like a beef roast at least once a week in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like 1 jar a week. So that's like
It
5 jars
fast.
a month. So now it's starting to look like maybe it's not as much as I think.
Well, keep the bones. Keep your bones of your roast and your
I still
chicken.
have another thing of beef bones to make more, but I'm thinking I have enough, I think, to do us till December. So I might be making another big batch in January.
I don't have something specific for myself. I know that the kids enjoy the peach in syrup. This year I canned 27 liters. So
Oh, wow.
27 1 liter.
Yep.
And I will have to say, okay, so it's 1 jar that we open every 2 weeks because like I want it to last till.
Yes. Or you probably could have a jar a week. Honestly.
Yeah, but then
yeah.
too bad, so sad, there's no more.
Yep.
And when you open a jar of like peaches and syrup, the kids are they eat it all. So that could be one. Last year, my usually sauce,
Yes.
what do you call it? Not potato, apple. Apple sauce was a big winner here. And the first year I did it was with Gala apples and Honeycrisp.
Yeah.
And everything that I was doing with those apples, they're firm apples, and it was delicious. I did apples and syrup. That went like, I think I had like 7 jars. That went out like real fast. And the sauce, same thing. But last year, the farm where I went, it's ugly apples. They only had Empires and Macintosh. So like I buy 60-pound bags of apples for 20, like every bag of 20 pounds is $20. But
That's a good deal.
the good apples, that means not the ugly ones, they're $40 per bag for 20 pounds. So I wanted Honeycrisp, but all her trees are sick. So her bags were like reserved for farmers market and stuff like that. So she wouldn't sell it. So last year I ended up having Macintosh and Empire, the ugly fruit. So I bought 3 bags and I brought them home, and the kids hated it. So I had, I think, 20 jars of sauce, of juice, and like all over different types. And I ended up mixing it, like the sauce, I ended up mixing it with strawberry jam. And I dehydrated it to make fruit.
Oh, fruit leather?
Thank you. And they ate it. I'm like, it's the exact same apples. It's the exact same.
And when you dehydrate them, though, it makes them sweeter, right? So when you're dehydrating it.
So I'm like, okay.
Apple products are pretty popular here too. I did apple butter last year for the first time. Whoa, that was a big hit. Well, I'll be making more of that this year.
They didn't like it. They liked it with the Honeycrisp, not the Macintosh.
My daughter doesn't like Macintosh. She's not a fan of the Macintosh at all.
I don't like it. I prefer like the crunchy Gala Honeycrisp, and there's another one.
I love Honeycrisp. I love Honeycrisp.
If one day I can have a farm, I think I'm gonna buy 10 trees of Honeycrisp because they're hybrids.
I have 2 Honeycrisp trees planted.
Really?
Yep.
And like you can't get cuttings. Like you have to put them. You have Honeycrisp are man-made, so like they. There's a lady that explained to me they had cuttings.
Graft them and everything. Yep.
So they're more expensive to buy, but I'm like,
I got 2 of them, and I got 2 Galas. That's what we've got planted, and we paid $25 a piece for them, which I thought was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't huge, but I mean, that's
doesn't matter. If you don't plan on moving anytime soon, it's good.
No. This is we planted them last year. I'm trying to remember if it was 21 or 2020.
How old were they?
It was 2020. And she told me between 3 and 5 years, we would start seeing, like she said, the 3rd year, it might be only 1 apple.
Did you have apples this year?
No. I think it was too hot. Like I had to put a lot of effort into watering the apple trees and saving them this year because it was
next
so
year
hot.
will be your first harvest of like maybe a couple of apples.
We'll probably get fingers crossed we'll have some next year.
Oh, it's so cool. If ever like you're overwhelmed in apples, I'm gonna do the drive and I'm gonna go at your house.
Yeah. We have a huge Macintosh tree that was on the property when we moved in. And I used to use them, and I would make applesauce and stuff with them because, I would make it taste good. We didn't have any last year because of the gypsy moths. They decimated it. They ate the blossoms, they ate the leaves, they ate everything right off of it. This year, it looks a lot better, but no apples again this year. So I don't know if it's, I can remember my great-grandparents had apple trees on their property that were like 60 years old and they were still producing. Yeah, so I don't think it's an age thing. I just think, I don't know if it got too much damage.
There's so much new bugs, and like they try to introduce new bugs to resolve an issue, and then it creates another issue, and then they what's it called, that Japanese beetle, it was to solve, if my memory's correct, I think it's to solve aphids.
Yeah.
And they created a mass problem.
Massive. And the gypsy moth caterpillars, again, they're not indigenous to our area. They used to only go after, what was it? Poplar trees, was it? And that's all they used to eat. And then all of a sudden last year, they killed, I don't know how many of our pine trees. They went after our blue spruce, sucked all the chlorophyll right out of it, killed it. They went after our white birch trees. They went after our maple trees. They went after my apple tree. The only thing they didn't eat was the lilac bushes. So they're adapting. They're adapting and starting to eat things that they never used to eat before. So
my God.
we didn't have a problem with them this year. So
okay, well, maybe it is wetter this year.
Well, everybody around us sprayed BTK. They had their properties all done. And I think the only thing bad about it is I think it went after the monarchs.
Well, you remember M.I. Gardner?
Mm-hmm.
He has a channel and he also has a Facebook page. And he made a post and he says, if you want to spray your, I can't remember which trees to protect them against, and then he made a list of everything. You have to spray BTK between this day and this day at night.
Yep. Yes.
And he says it's going to save your trees. Yes, BTK is recognized as an organic sprayer.
I used it on our apple trees. I'm going to admit I did.
He said,
but I did it at night.
Yeah,
and I only did those 4 little trees. I did. I will say we have a lot more. We are seeing a lot more monarchs the last couple of weeks than we have all summer. It's weird.
It happened. Usually the sighting of monarch is much more early in the season. This year, I started seeing them very late. I was actually very worried. And I did not see any beautiful other butterflies. They happened after the monarch. So maybe they are adapting and they're coming out later.
I will say my zinnia plants, which I will be planting zinnias every year going forward. They are not only gorgeous, the bumblebees, the honeybees, and the monarchs have loved them. I mean, that's where I'm seeing
I have a lot of bumblebees this year, and they're huge.
Huge. they're huge.
Yeah, and like their little butts are like looking at you when you're like harvesting tomatoes. Very, very, very fun.
Yep, I'll definitely plant more zinnias.
Peanuts are hard to keep in winter. Always I guess you're eating a lot of peanuts this winter. I'm doing blueberries on Tuesday. Picked up nice. I'm hoping that tomorrow I can go pick up blueberries. I really would love to. I hope so. I think we're like in the end. I did not use applesauce this year because every single time I use the applesauce, the kids are like, "No, I don't like it." Nah, nah, nah. So I just did. I have 4 jars left of last year, and I'm just doing leathers. But I would like to use it in baking more.
Yep, I do. I use it in baking more in place of oil. If I don't have oil or whatever, I'm like, oh, I have applesauce. But there's an applesauce cake. Or an applesauce cake. It's like a banana bread, but they call it cake. I'm dying to try that this year. Ooh. It's on my list of things.
I had apples in water. No, is it water? I didn't slice apple in, I think it was juice or water. And I just removed all the juice and I used the slice in I was supposed to do muffins, but it was like way too liquidy. So I just made like a funky cake with apple, and I added like some cinnamon, some oats, and it if I had ice cream, it would have been nice.
Yeah.
I have like 2 more. I think I have 2 jars left of those. So if you have that recipe handy, I can try it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
If you're referencing recipes for pressure canning, there are some that are very easy to start. Like
some that are very quick.
Broth is super easy. I think it's like under 30 minutes, 20, 25 minutes. And
obviously it depends on how big a jar you're making.
Yeah.
I tend to do the 1
big
liter.
One. Yeah, I can't remember, but I know it's under 30 minutes. And green beans
are quick. Green and yellow beans are fast.
Peas are not that long either, but you obviously have to shell them.
Kidney beans take forever ever.
Yeah.
I did my first kidney beans last week. It was 75 minutes.
Yeah, well, I did a soup tonight and it was 75 minutes.
Yep. So some things are definitely longer.
Nice, Melissa. I got ugly
Yeah.
apple free last year from someone on Facebook. They had wormholes, but I can't. Yeah, well,
they won't hurt you.
Ugly apples have like bugs, they have worms, they have blemishes, and it's if you buy ugly apple or you get ugly apples for free, this is something you have to take care like within the first 48 hours.
Yes.
Because like they've been in a bag all jam packed together, creating more bumps, bruise, and stuff like that. In like usually it's big bags, and you will have a little bit more work to do, like to remove the blemishes, and I always remove the skins.
But when if you get them for free, I mean, the work's worth it, because
the work's worth it. But there's a little bit more work, so like you have to take that in consideration, that if you're buying ugly fruits, that you have to deal with them very fast.
We go apple picking every year, usually Thanksgiving weekend, October. And I actually will look on the ground and pick up some of the nicer ones on the ground, because I'm like, there's nothing wrong with these. I either someone knocked them off, or I'm not gonna, it's a lot. But now we have a 6'1" child who can reach the really good ones up high now.
Nice, useful.
So he'll come in handy this year.
Okay, so I'm not the only one that wants to go blueberry picking. I might go for wild blueberries. Nice. Okay, seriously, I have to find a friend.
Love wild blueberries
near me that goes.
Love wild blueberries.
That goes hunting for wild stuff. Just reading that, apples, cinnamon bread.
I make one too, and it is delicious. It is so good.
Okay, I have time maybe for one more question.
Okay.
Do you have some sort of inventory tab on what you have in your pantry?
I do, actually. I don't want to say her too loud because I know it will turn her on, but we got a Alexa this year. Finally, it's 2022 and we finally got one. And I had her create a list because it goes to my phone. So it's on my phone, and it's called Store. I called it Store because that's what we call it. And I wrote, this summer, before I started canning, I went through and I have to update it because we've since added to it. But it comes in handy because if I'm out shopping and I see a deal, I'm like, wait a minute, how many do we already have? Like, and I'm like, well,
that's good. That's a nice way of doing it.
So, and I'm not perfect at it. I'm trying to be better about it, because it does, especially nowadays, because if you see a sale, you kind of have to get it now because in 2 weeks, it's going to be a lot more money.
Yeah.
So like for instance, I forgot to write down how much, what was it we had? We had something, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we had 2 more containers of that. I think it was maple syrup. And I'm like, great. So now we have more than enough. I'm not getting any maple syrup for a while because I didn't realize, because I forgot to add it. So yeah, inventory is very popular. And I try even with my freezers. I bought this chalk sticker.
Yeah.
It was like in a big roll at the dollar store, and you could cut it any size you want. And I put it on my freezers, and I was doing really good in January. When you take something out, cross it off. But by the time February came around, we weren't keeping track. And it's my mother, when she was visiting, she's like, Lynn, it says here you've already got 6 whole chickens. I'm like, no, those were 8 months ago. We don't have 6 whole chickens anymore in there. So I really got to update it. That's on my list of things when I'm not in canning brain.
Yeah. Well, I have a funny idea that it's going to calm down for us at the end of September, beginning of October.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have this itch in December, January, February, and we're going to start emptying our meat freezers because our jars are going to start getting empty, and we're going to start pressure canning. And we're probably going to find deals on root vegetables.
Yes.
Because usually in the colder months, at one point, there's always like rutabagas, carrots, or beets that comes on special, and we're going to stock up, or even meat. Sometimes we find deals on meat, and we're ended up pressure canning. I'm sure that we're gonna have this conversation in a couple of months that we're going, oh, it's cold outside.
Yep.
We're gonna have
Might
to
as well run the oven.
might as well. So
Yeah.
before pressure canning, I had a tradition that I would revise my inventory 2 to 3 times a year. So while I'm canning, I have a manual list. And every time I take a jar and I put it in my pantry, I write down how many jars I'm putting in. And it gives me a detail of what's currently going on. I lost last year's list. Not good.
Oh no.
So I don't remember how much I had of each last year. So I have to like eyeball it. By Remy, I have to like figure out like the minimum that I need and hope for the best. And at usually in November, I would remove everything from our freezers. I would take an inventory of everything. And then this is where I start planning meat wise the year after.
Yeah.
And then it is like it's like, it's 1, 2. I have 2 freezers on top of my fridge. And then I have a chest freezer, a humongous chest freezer, and then a stand up freezer. So, like, that is an entire day.
Yep.
And then I put
And you
everything
have to wear
back.
gloves. Like I
Yeah.
have to wear gloves because my hands get like
Frozen. Yeah.
and I'm like,
And
oh, I
then
can't feel my
I
fingers.
do like a quick mason jar inventory. So that means dehydrated goods and also what's ever in the cans. And then this is where I start planning for next year's garden. Like I take notes, and I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do my next year's garden without the years before list. So I'm only going to have current year. So I have like it's going to be interesting to figure out my numbers for next year. But I'm sure I'm gonna see if I have no more jars or something. I'm gonna figure out that I'm lacking in that, so that's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
But like I always have like that detailed list. But I love your idea that's on your phone.
Oh yeah, because I mean that's just because I always forget my list when I write one. I write one and then I leave it. So this way, and wherever I am in the house, because we have one in our bedroom, the kids each have one too, a little one, and we have one in the garage because when everyone's working out, the music can be out there on the little one. I can literally I'll be in the shower and I'll yell to the one in my bedroom, oh, we're almost out of shampoo. So I can yell because by the time I get done my shower, get dressed, come downstairs, I've completely forgotten to add shampoo to the written list. So it really, I mean, it's crazy, but it does come in handy when you're or all of a sudden, if I'm chopping something, I'm like, oh, I'm almost out of that. I can yell to her in the living room, and I need to get more. So it actually, and we got it on Prime Day, so we got it for a steal because I wasn't going to pay full price for it, and my mother talked us into it. But
I can picture you yelling at your device.
I do too.
I don't know. So, maybe probably Google does it too. I don't want it.
Yes.
I have one next to me, so I have to be careful.
Yeah, I think it does. We were going to get the Google, but because we have, and it's attached to my Amazon Prime, so I can. That's one of the reasons we went with her instead of Google, just because a lot of the other things already were the Amazon or whatever. And when you get a delivery, it lets you know that your delivery has been delivered or whatever, which in my case is way too often. But
I actually changed that. I told my husband and I showed him every single transaction we're making on Amazon Prime, because we are members of Prime. And I told him we have to stop doing that because
it's too easy.
It's too easy. So I told him, okay, so every time we get paid, I'm going to pay all the bills, and then we're going to leave it in the bin, like the purchasing bin. And then on the Saturday morning, we're going to figure out, do we really need this? Can we afford this? And he's like, really? We're going to have to do that? I'm like, yes, because like there's things that we don't necessarily need right now. We can wait that it's either on special or cheaper, because okay, 7:30. There is one thing that I keep realizing year after year after year. And this is like related to Pantry, but it's also like, it could be like for everything else. In January, I started looking for deals. Things were super, super dirt cheap online. Pressure canners were cheap on Amazon. supplies, organization stuff, labels, all that were very cheap. As soon as you get in season, so
Yes.
May, June, July, August, everything like quadrupled. My
Quadrupled.
dehydrator that I got in March or April was $300 Canadian. It's $675 right now for the same
Wow.
product.
Wow.
I was like, that's
That's
insane.
like my
Insane.
the Mr. Stacky planters, the vertical planters I got.
Yes.
They're double what they were when I bought mine in February and March.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting because I want to buy more, but I'm waiting. I thought, oh, I don't need any more right now. So I'm going to wait and get more in January because they were a success. Everything I grew in them grew fabulous.
Nice. I have one tower, but I neglected it this year. Like there's just so much my mind can do. And like it was full of weeds and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick my battles this year. This one is going to die.
Yeah.
So planning, like having an organized pantry is fun. Okay. I would love to have like 100% organized pantry, but I find that being also organized in what you need and buying it in season will make your money go further. So if you can't have a garden and you want to have a pantry, you can shop in season and like either freeze can or dehydrate whatever's in season. Same thing applies to your everything you're using, tools, pressure counters, jars, lids. There's going to be deals in the colder months. All the time, like even lights.
I'd like to get a second pressure canner. I think because I'm finding like
I got because one.
I can do double stacking. Like my pressure canner even has recipes that says double stack, and I got the extra. I haven't done it yet. I'm not sure why I'm so nervous.
I did it twice now.
About it. Yeah,
it is a bit nerve-wracking, just a little bit, because like you're like, oh god, okay, now like you go from 9 to 18. So
what I really want to save for is the electric pressure canner that's finally been approved by the FDA. It's finally, it doesn't hold a whole lot, but I'm hoping they're going to probably come out with one that will hold more, and then the first one will go down. You know what I mean? Like, because whenever they improve it. Yes, that's the one I'm really right now.
It holds 6
I think
quarts.
It holds 6 quarts, which isn't bad. I mean, I'm only a family of 4, so it's not like I am, I'm usually only doing 6 quarts at a time. 6
quarts and 7 pints or 9 pints. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know. I mean, I had to do my pears in 4 batches the other night. Even water bath canning, because I can only put 10 of the small jars in my. So I think that's what I'd like to save up for. Right now they're around 700 Canadian. I'm not paying that. I need new kitchen countertops. I'm not paying $700 for electric canner.
Before COVID, they were just a little bit over $300 or 200 something. And then when COVID hit, they were $500. But on the USA site, they're $199. But they don't
might be cheaper.
So
even in Canadian money.
What you can do is, if your mom is visiting, next time she's visiting, check if presto.com has it in stock. Get it shipped to your mom and have your mom bring it with her.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that, because it is one I'd like to try, because it would be nice to like do one and then not have to worry about the jiggler at all. Especially if it's like, oh my gosh, this is my 3rd batch, I'm exhausted, I'm gonna set it and go to bed. Though I don't know if I could go to bed. I think I don't know.
I don't know. I know that
until I use it a little bit. Kind of thing. But
I'm actually I used to do like 2-3 recipes of water bathing, and now since I have the tall double stack pressure canner, I remove the seal and I use that one as a water bath.
I do too. I'm using it for my water bath more this year.
I can have 14 jars at once. That's a big deal. And then I'm actually looking for a 50-liter stock pot to put it on the burner outside. So I would be able to do like a huge amount at once.
Yeah.
Because like that makes a huge difference. Like instead of doing 7 and then it's done, and then 7 and then it's done, and then it's like so long. And by having those two, it actually helps a lot.
Yes.
Saves
I think
time.
I'll probably, now that I don't have an induction oven, I can get any Presto pressure canner. I don't have to get the special one. I don't have to spend as much.
Yeah.
So
I got the deal on, I'm not sure if they ship in Ontario. My double stack with the jiggler, not the dial gauge. It was $2.79 at La Guilde Culinaire.
That's pretty good price. I paid, by time taxes and everything, I think I paid a little over $300 for mine last year.
Well, it's $2.79
because I had to get the
obviously.
induction one.
Well, mine is $2.79, but you have to do plus tax, which is $3.16, I think.
Yeah.
And it's free shipping.
I looked into those all-American canners.
Yes.
Holy moly! I don't know how people afford those.
Well, they are 300 something in USA. For us, it's 600 because they have to ship it to us, and those things are huge. And shipping is probably, just to get them here, is probably like close to $100.
Yeah. But they're who's your prepping nurse? The $500 was the Presto electric pressure canner.
Yes.
That's what it is for us here in Canada.
I think it's even more expensive than that now.
Yeah, it's been a while since I looked. I looked like, I think 3 months ago, and I'm like, no way. I'm not paying that.
I refuse. Presto electric pressure canner. And it's the 12-quart one. Right now, it's $689. Are you there? Oh, I can't hear you.
I muted. Sorry, I muted. How much are they?
$689.
That's
right now. It's crazy.
I'm not paying that. It's like a Vitamix blender. I'd love to upgrade. I have a Ninja, which is great, but I'd like to get the Vitamix at Costco. They're $500. I'm like, nope, I am not paying that for a stinking blender.
My uncle bought a refurbished one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where.
Yeah,
he paid half the price.
That's not too bad. That's not.
I think he bought it at Best Buy.
Amazon does sell refurbished. There are, if you type in refurbished, Amazon. Yeah. My nephew got a Fitbit. Not a Fitbit, an Apple Watch, and it was refurbished, and it came with a 1-year warranty. So, and he got it for half the price of what a new one is. So maybe I'll check them and see.
I think it's Best Buy that sells refurbished. I'm not sure.
I'm not really in any hurry right now, and my Ninja does what I need it to do. But
that's on my list for next year. I want to switch. I have like a small blender Ninja. And I have an old brown food processor. And I would like to have like just one that does it all. With
my Ninja's got the tall blender, and it's got the round, I think it's supposed to be a food processor. I don't find it works that great as a food processor. So I just bought
I want a 16 cup, like a huge.
That's what mine is.
Huge one.
Yeah.
I didn't know Ninja did 16 cups.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's 12 cup.
12 or 14.
I want like huge.
The one I would really love is the Breville one, but it's so expensive.
Yeah, so expensive. I know. I need to win the lottery is what I need.
Yes. So I saw the Breville on Roots and Refuge Farm. She uses it, and I'm like, she obviously got it like maybe for $200.
She has almost 1 million subscribers, so she can.
No, that was a while back, like before they even moved. But for us, it's $500. They probably pay for it like $200, and then there's probably deals, like Black Friday and stuff like that. So anyways. And when I saw her use it, I'm like, I want one. Mine is like 5 cups, like. so small. So when I do like big batches of salsa and I need like to like do a lot, like and then one and then two and then she just did one. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah, my Ninja's pretty big. I think it's at least 12 cup. It's a big one. It's a really, really big one. And I use that a lot. The little round one, I don't use for a lot. I just didn't find it was that great a food processor. So I just went and bought a cheapo $30 food processor for what I need it for.
I like the round ones because they're easier to clean. The tall ones, the Ninja, I find like they're hard. Like my hands are so small. When I try to clean them, they're very hard to clean.
And the blades are very, very sharp.
Yes, I cut myself once.
I will say you have a mixer that I want. I saw it in one of your videos for bread.
Yes.
That is like on my list.
Okay. So I wanted the Bosch one.
Yes, the Bosch.
The Bosch was $799. And I was able to get the baking supplies for free and the ice cream maker for free delivery. So I'm like, okay, sounds good. I couldn't afford it. So I started doing research, and then I found that Bosch has a sister company, which is Nutrimil.
Oh, I didn't know they were Bosch.
And so Nutrimil came up with the Artiste, which is the smaller version of the Bosch. And every single Bosch accessories fits on the Nutrimil.
Okay. I'm just looking really quick here. So I don't.
The Artiste is, I think it's 5 quarts. So you can do 4 loaves of bread in the Bosch. You can do 3 loaves of bread in the Artiste. So it's
that's all I need. I mean, that would be
just a little bit smaller. So
the
base is Nutrimil.
Okay.
The cup, so the bowl is Nutrimil, but all the accessories that's inside is Bosch.
Okay, and do you find like do you have like another blender or mixer, or is that the only one you have?
I used to have the KitchenAid.
Okay, I have a KitchenAid, which I love.
But I made a double batch of bread and it smelled like burning.
Yeah.
Like it was burning. I was killing it. So I'm like, I can't just do one batch of bread because like when I do my cinnamon rolls or cinnamon bread, I have to make 3 breads because I'm going to cook them. I'm going to put the 3 breads on the counter. One's going to be gone. Like, my husband's going to pass. He's going to take out butter and he's going to like snack on it, then come back and then snack on it. Then the kids are going to come back inside the house. Oh, you made bread. They took bread, go outside. So 1 bread's gone. So then it leaves me with 2. So one's for the freezer and one's for the next day. So that's why I invested in the Artiste.
Okay.
But it is an investment. But the only thing I found is that the blades that comes with it is not ideal. So the blade that comes with it is not Bosch. It's the Nutrimil version. So when I wrote to Bosch and I said, I have an issue with the motor, the shaft, and one of the pedals. So they said, no worries. We're going to send you a new shaft, which is Bosch shaft. And we're going to send you the stainless steel dough hook.
Okay.
That was a game changer. So if I was to, like, someone would tell me, I want to buy the Artiste, I'm going to tell her, buy the stainless steel Bosch dough hook. It makes the whole difference.
Okay.
And all the rest of it, I love it. And then there's certain attachment that you cannot have. So there's the blender that you can't put on it, but I don't want a blender. And then there's you can stand it up and then you can put the pasta maker on it.
Oh, yeah.
So there's many things accessory wise that the Bosch has that can be put on the Artiste, but there's some that are limited. But I just wanted it for making bread. So I got the same deal. So I had the baker hook, the cookie dough hook, the cake hook, and it came with the hook of the bread, and I got the ice cream maker for free.
Okay.
So I waited until that I get all of that all together, and
I'll keep my eye out maybe closer to the holidays and see if they have like sales on.
And I bought it online in an Ontario store. I can't remember. There was 2 store I was hesitating between, and I just waited that one of them had the special, and I just bought it.
Because I'm thinking too, because I like to do a lot of I do a lot of cookie dough.
Yes.
And because David takes cookies to work, I take them around to the neighbors and stuff. It would be so nice if I could make like a big, batches at a time.
If I make 1 batch of cookies, I make it handmade. If I make 2 batches, sometimes I'm not even gonna bother. I'm gonna do it by hand. As soon as I do 3 times like 12 biscuits, or I take it out. If I do 2 times pizza dough, I'm not gonna take it out. If I do 3, 4, because then you have to knead with your hand.
Yes.
Like it's so. As soon as I do more than 2, this is when I take it out.
Okay. Yeah, that's I think that's when I'm just looking real quick. Who's Your Prepping Nurse said that she got a refurbished Vitamix and it had a 3-year warranty. So
Nice.
yeah.
Where'd you get it?
I wonder if she got it directly from Vitamix.
It's possible.
Yeah. That's also the States, so I don't know if we have an option to even.
The States are so cool for so many things, but like there's things that like, but
Azure Standard.
Yes, I want. Did you check out OM Foods?
No, I am gonna check them out. I don't need anything right now, but I'm gonna look at them.
It's bulk items, so you either get 1/4 pound, 1/2 pound, 1 pound, 5 pounds, 20 pounds.
Okay.
But the shipping, obviously, we're in Canada, so it's gonna be expensive.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but this is where you can like ask like a neighbor, a friend, an aunt, a sister, and you can like all put on.
Well, I add the shipping into it, and if it's still, even with the shipping, if it's still a good deal, I don't mind paying the shipping.
Yeah,
but
when the shipping is per weight. It's per weight.
Okay.
So what they do is they evaluate how much weight you have in total, and then the price goes towards that.
Okay.
So the lower,
I'll look into them, because I keep saying if I win the lottery, I seriously am going to start an Azure Standard type business here in Canada. It'll make me even more money. I think it would go over huge here. I really do. I think it would do well here.
I don't know, because there's a lot of like, we're small in Canada.
I used to be part of a group a few years ago where there was about 20 of us who did get, it was bulk buying. It was primarily organic. And the one woman always had to pick up at her house, just like Azure Standard. And we'd make arrangements with her. She'd say, the shipment's coming between 3 and 6. Can everybody come between 3 and 6 today to start picking up your order? And it did really well. But then people stopped paying for their orders. And she was getting stuck with all these orders. And nobody was paying. And she's like, and she'd call the company, and the company's like, well, we don't want them back. They got to pay for them. And she's like, well, I'm not giving them to them, because then I'm out the money, So she ended up stopping it, and we could never find anybody else who was willing to do it. So, and it was pretty good. Like we managed to get really good prices, and it reminded me a lot of like well.ca or the American one that I order from, because it's only $9.99 for shipping to Canada, no matter what you buy.
Which one?
Vitacost.
Vitacost?
Yep. Vitacost.
Vitacost.
Yep. And it's only $10. And now there's some things you can't buy because they're worried about it melting, or
obviously.
But other things like before we started getting a little bit more options, like that Annie's brand, the Annie's
the organic Annie's brand.
Yes. Yeah. Grace loves their products. We can get them a lot more now here, but we couldn't 5 years ago. So I'd go on there and I'd put in a big order, and it was only $10 shipping and handling, no matter how much I bought.
Well, well.ca, if they had bigger quantities, I probably would look in more into it. But like I did buy my Pomona powder there for my jams and jellies. They were $8.48 per little box. But what I would love, on Amazon, they have a pound of Pomona in a bag.
Yes, I saw that.
I wanted that because it's hi
crying.
Oh no, she wants to.
Did everyone leave you? Huh? Everyone left you, and you were
on Amazon. It was much more expensive to buy the pound than to go in on well.ca and get the $8 box. But that's what I wanted, because like it's shelf stable, the Pomona's pectin.
Yeah, I bought it by the box at a health food store. I finally found it, and I actually I didn't even use all that I bought this year because it seemed expensive till I started using it. And then I'm like, oh my God, like I only opened 2 boxes this year. And I made blueberry jam, I made elderberry jelly, I made raspberry jelly, I made strawberry jelly, and I only opened 2 boxes and I still have some in the refrigerator. So I'm going to have to use it up. I'm going to make apple.
You have to make cooking. You have to get on cooking. I found a recipe for fruit leathers with Pomona's pectin, and it's as is the fruit roll-ups. So as soon as I can get my hand on more apples, I'm gonna try that recipe. Yeah. It's 4 cups of puree. I think there's a cup of white concentrate grape juice, Pomona, and some sweetener.
Okay. Yeah, I love Pomonas. I am totally converted. I am not using here, you want to take her? She was crying. She came running. I'm totally converted. I will not ever make jelly and jam again with anything.
Every time I find a jam or jelly that I want to do that's not Pomona's, I try to find it first if someone's actually converted it. But then if I don't, I sit down and I do the conversion because it's so worth it because there's so much less sugar.
I will say I bought the cookbook, Pomona's Pectin cookbook.
Yeah.
Totally worth it. And I got it really cheap. I got it for like $12 or something. So I don't know if it's still on that price. But what's really cool is the author lives in Maine. Like where I'm from. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And she's got there's like so many recipes in there. So many.
Well, on the website, there is a lot of, see now it's $28. There's a lot of recipes on the website.
Okay.
A lot. So at first, like I didn't want to buy the book and like not use it. So every time I go on Pomona's website and I go, example, peach jam. So I saw peach jam. And then I wanted to do spicy peach jam. So I did spicy peach and there was a version. So on the website, there's a lot. And I might do apple pie filling.
Yes, I'm thinking about trying that too. Some of the pie fillings.
I can't find a clear gel, Surgel. I can't find it, and I
can't find it here either. So what I used, I went to the Bulk Barn and got tapioca starch because there's tapioca flour and there's tapioca starch, and you can use those. And that's all. And I used it all last year. My apple pie filling had no problems.
Okay.
It didn't turn cloudy. It thickened up nice, and I used it this year in my blueberry pie filling. Okay. So I actually use it for tons of stuff. But
what I did before last year is I canned it without any pectin or any powder, and then when I cook it, I dump the filling, and then I add 3 tablespoons of flour. But like the principle of you canning apple pie filling is that like you just dump, bloop, bloop.
And if you can't find that, Annie, I've used arrowroot powder too.
Yes, like I used
buy that even. I don't know about Quebec, but we can even buy that in our grocery stores now here.
I got Bulk Barn for both.
Okay, so that worked great too, and it's less gluten. It's gluten free. Arrowroot powder.
Well, I found out about tapioca flour, tapioca starch, and arrowroot powder. Sorry, I can't say it because of my husband's corn intolerance when we went gluten-free and corn-free. So I had to have starch in the bread that I was making.
Right.
And I had to buy those things. So I used to have it. Now I used it all. So I wanted to try first to see if I can do it with the Pomonas, and then if it doesn't work, find an alternative. I have to let you guys go.
I just realized we're way too over, and I know you got to get your littles to bed. Thank God it's a holiday tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a holiday, but the kids, they did good. I didn't hear them. Did you guys hear them? I don't think I heard them.
Nope, I didn't hear them. And my youngest goes back to school Tuesday, so we're finally back into normal mode too this week. So
well, Tuesday for us is everyone's normal schedule. So Cedric is going full time, and Emilia's going full time. Philip is going full time. So it's gonna be my first day from 8 o'clock till 2 o'clock. No kids.
I tell you, just do nothing, but we're moms, so we don't like nothing,
No.
but it'd just be nice. You know what? Everyone would say, oh, just take the day and do nothing. I'm like, no, I'm going to take the day and do a bunch of stuff because nobody will interrupt me and I can get it done.
Yes. So you're going to organize your pantry. I'm going to be organizing your clothes. I'm decluttering all our clothes. Like
I have made so many trips to the thrift store. I find I do fall time for me is like everybody else's spring. I find I do a lot more decluttering and getting rid of and downsizing more and cleaning and stuff than I do even in the spring. So
we're way too excited to go outside.
And we're too busy with but no, like, I hear ya. The clothes have gotten ridiculous. I'm like, we have so many clothes and yet we're wearing pretty much the same few things, like enough.
Yeah, well, because I'm always outside. Like, this is a nice shirt that I have. Like, I never wear it because like it's white and I don't picture myself going outside like with my green thumbs and like all dirty and then like whoop, it's all black, all like
exactly.
So I have like my shirts for my lives, and then I have like my normal clothes to go outside. I always wear the same. So every single room is gonna be decluttered, and that also means the kitchen. Like anything I haven't used within the last year is going somewhere else. So
I've been doing that too. I'm like, you know what? And I don't regret it. Some things have been gone 3 months already. And I'm like, see, Lynn, why'd you hang on to that?
Well, it's like I had 2 sets of cups, like measuring cups. I'm like, oh, it's so useful. But then I have to wash 2 sets of cups. And then I had 2 sets
of. You're washing the other set anyway, because you don't. For me, I'm like, I'm not going to walk back over to the drawer. I need this one. I'll just wash it, dry it, and use it again. So I have 3 sets of measuring cups. So I've got to,
No, I took it out, and at first I was like, I want to go back and get it. I'm like, no. So now every time I use my cups and my measuring spoons, I wash them right away. And then I store them right away. So same thing with my knives. I had like quadrillion million knives. And I'm like, I don't need that much. So I took some out and it's going to somewhere else. And then I'm like, every time I use like my special knife to cut like tomatoes and all that, I wash it and then store it. And it shows that by decluttering, it helps out. It actually helps. And I'm going to do that also with the pantry. I'm going to do that with everything in the house.
Me too. It's funny. I've been doing the same thing too. I said to David, we have all these knives and I don't think we've used them in the 8 years we've lived here. Like they're just in a drawer. And we just keep pushing. Yeah. So I'm going to tape them all up and offer them on my Buy Nothing group. Because I don't know if a thrift store will take them because they're like knives. Like sharp knives. I don't know if they'll take them. So
they'll think you want to murder them.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to offer them on my Buy Nothing group. Anyone who wants to come grab them, they're in a box.
It's actually bad luck to give out a knife. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. You have when my dad used to, like when I moved out, he gave me a set of knife and I had to pay him it was a penny so that it was not bad luck.
Oh. It's funny when we got our knives for our wedding, somebody put a dime or something in the package and I never knew why. That must have been why.
Yeah. Well, everyone, I thank you for coming in and chatting. And if there's a need for another pantry session, we can do like maybe after we organize our pantry. I have to film a pantry tour this week.
Me too.
It was requested.
Yep.
Oh, God, that's gonna be interesting. So
I'm showing the good, the bad, and the ugly because I know I'm not the only one who's got a pantry right now that looks
like I have like green beans here, green beans there, beets here, beets there. So it's gonna be interesting.
On the floor that's not even on the shelves yet.
I'm not at that stage yet, but I probably will soon.
I'm walking around like this. I'm like, this is enough. I can't take this anymore.
Parkour. It's parkour for homesteaders. Take care, everyone.
Good night. Have a good week, everybody.